Congratulations down the bottom end there of the paddock from our Honda Cadet drivers to the Micro Max drivers for their finishing positions. They're your juniors ready to go down there in the dummy grid holding area. On the left we've got Tom Carter, who will start on pole position, and it looks like we've got Jacob Dukes alongside. A mouth-watering front row between the top two in the championship. There's your confirmation then. Carter and Duke share the front row. Sam Ardolino, who's been the hard charger throughout the day, will start third with Ollie Naylor alongside Max Shields and Ethan Haig on row number 3. Amelia Pennington will start on the inside of row 4 with Finley Whiting alongside Nicholas Ellis and Sam Stoner, sharing row 5, completing the top 10 in front of Curtis Latimer and Sandro Ballesteros, with Jaden Hewitt and Bartek Felipe at row 7. Max Rowley and Harry Hurst Grover complete your 16 runners. Jensen Mason not with us here today. 16 then for juniors. We await their arrival out on track. Didn't have any recoveries for anybody out there, so let's to get them going. So that's Dukes on the right with the blue helmet, Carter on the left in the green, Ardolino in the 16. He's the one to watch for me, having had a good charge through in Heat 2, a comfortable victory in Heat 3. Only, in my opinion, off the front row because of the penalty applied for a front fairing in the first heat, and he dropped down from a race victory. So it would have been 2 wins and a 4th. That would have been more than enough for pole position. So have a look if he can get round that first lap cleanly. Then have a look for Sam Ardolino taking the challenge to Tom Carter and Jacob Dukes. Two rolling up laps then. Thank you for joining us. If you do have any closing comments in the final 2 races of the day here in Junior Rotax and in our Honda Cadet A final, do let us know. What's been your favourite race of the day so far? Who's been your favourite driver and your favourite move? For me so far, it's been that enthralling battle all throughout the day in the Mini Max class. Let's see whether the big sisters in juniors can go and repeat what happened in the mini final and turn this one into an enthralling battle. We've got a couple of carts wide. Latimer appears to be slow, and Hewitt, I think there was a bit of contact, puts his arm up, but Curtis Latimer looked very slow round the opening corner. Carter and Dukes, the top 2 then, as they're leading round with Ardolino and Naylor. So we are, as we were, for the top 4. At the very least, I think that could be the top 6, though. I think Ethan Haig has found her way past Max Shields. He's up into 5th. Shields in 6th. That looks like Finn Whiting then in 7th place as he comes through. Nicholas Ellis in 8th place. So that's going to be your top 8 as they come over the line. We will call them when the confirmation comes up in the top left corner. It will be Carter from Dukes, Ardolino, Naylor, Haig, Shields, Whiting, Ellis, Stoner and Felipe at the top 10. So the first 8 were correct as we saw them coming round and down the hill through compression and the Devil's Elbow. Ardolino has not managed to go with the leading duo in this one. Maybe he's geared up towards the end of the race. It's a long race to keep these tyres in the optimum operating window all throughout. So maybe he's just playing it safe, doing what Fox Whiteley did in the Minimax race earlier on, where his kart came good towards the end, having been around about a second off that leading trio early on. So we'll see what Ardolino can do and whether he can just keep a decent gap and then maybe close in later on in this race. We're expecting this one to go to the best part of 18 or 19 laps, so we've still got plenty of time in this 12 minutes plus 1 lap final. Carter leading from Dukes. Still pretty much nose to tail all the way down to Sam Stoner in 9th place. The black helmet, black suit as well, and the all-white kart. Carter has opened up a small gap from Jacob Dukes in 1st and 2nd respectively. Adds another 10th, and Ollie Naylor slow round the final corner, bounces over the curbs, and Naylor from 4th place is going to drop all the way down into 9th over the line. He goes all the way to the back of the pile in terms of everybody that was running nose to tail from first down to ninth. Dukes has closed up on Carter at the top of the hill. That's dragged Ardolino along as well. Now, a gap that was 6/10 between the top three has been closed to nothing. Ardolino down the inside of Jacob Dukes. Let's see whether he got that one completed. It looks like he didn't, but that's opened up the gap then to Tom Carter. Looks like Sam Ardolino was well alongside Jacob Dukes there. Stoners through into 7th. Shields down into 8th place. Jaden Hewitt is up into 11th. Latimer gets past Hurst Grover for 14th and 15th respectively. Can Dukes now and Ardolino, having lost almost a second by going side by side down the hill with each other, close that gap once again to Tom Carter? Ardolino has another nibble down the inside of Jacob Dukes. This is exactly what Tom Carter wants. He wants these two behind to battle it out between each other. Emma Hurst Grove has been on saying, come on Harry, bad luck with the DNF, but starting last. We got past Curtis Latimer on the previous lap, and then Latimer got him back as Duke sets the fastest lap of the race. Tracy Carter has been on his way and saying some great racing. She's cheering for Tom. Well, he's 5 laps in with 8 minutes remaining from bringing a trophy home with him and that number 45 cart. The gap though is down to under a second once again, with Jacob Dukes breaking away ever so slightly from Sam Ardolino. The top three still only 1.3 between them. Back to Finn Whiting then, who's got the rest of the field chasing him down with Haig, Ellis, Stoner. Naylor is back up in front of Max Shields, up into 8th. That Shields down into 9th. Then they've got a gap of 2.5 back to Bartek Filipiak and Jaden Hewitt. Another 10th out then by Jacob Dukes. Ardolino with a personal best. 7.5 minutes remaining. If Dukes can keep taking a 10th out, by the time he gets up to half a second, that's when you're in slipstream territory, and then it starts getting to 2 tenths at a time, 2.5 tenths. And before you know it, everybody is back into a line astern for the lead. Haig holding off Nicholas Ellis then as they come down the hill. Ellis close enough to make a move down the inside, and through goes Nicholas Ellis. That moves him up into 5th place. Good move then for the 7. He's through. Now, can he close down Finley White? And the gap's 6/10. Hopefully have enough, having got through. But I'll just have to try and break away though from Ethan Haig. Good overtake in that downhill section. It's still showing him on timing as being behind Haig, but definitely overtook him, and he's definitely in front of him there now. So your eyes aren't deceiving you. The timing is not quite right down the top left-hand corner. Hopefully that will sort itself out when they come over next time. But it's definitely Nicholas Ellis up into 5th place. Over they come then. Still nothing on the timing screen down the top left corner, so we're just going to have to call this one as they go. The order is still the same, with the exception of Ellis now into 5th place, with Haig dropping down into 6th. Whiting is fairly comfortable. Ollie Naylor charging back through the field, having dropped down to 9th, gets down the inside of Ethan Haig, and that moves him up into 6th place. The leading trio though are closing in once again on each other, with Carter, Dukes and Ardolino. Timing shows 1.2 seconds between them. Yeah. Pictures we're seeing on screen say that it's a lot tighter than that. Beyond half race distance we are then, with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, and it looks like we've got a move down there from Ollie Naylor, potentially down the inside of Nicholas Ellis, and there he is sliding through, and that's going to move him up into 4th place, 5th place in fact for that. I think we've got Finn Whiting still in 4th. Can he break away and try and do anything about Finn Whiting? Nicholas Ellis tries to hold on to the back of Ollie Naylor, who came through to overtake on the previous lap. Still got 4 minutes remaining. Timing on the left is not what we're seeing on screen. That sort of froze about 3 laps ago. But it's now Ollie Naylor up into 5th, Ellis in 6th, Haig in 7th. In front of Sam Stoner, who is in 8th place, and Max Shields there with the gold helmet. Once again, pulling double duty, doing Junior Pro Kart and Junior Rotax. He jumps out of one kart, makes his way down the other end of the paddock, jumps in the next one. Hardly has any rest time throughout the weekend here in JKC. Here's your battle for the lead then. It's still Carter leading the way, but he has been reeled in by Jacob Dukes and Sam Ardolino. Down the hill they go. Timing wise, I'm not quite sure. We haven't got the stacker in the top left. It also means that we don't have the time at the top of the screen. And looking at the positions on the actual live timing as well, nothing's changed on there since when everything else froze. So nothing to do with the stream. It's the timing loop isn't particularly doing us any favours. The top 3 are nose to tail and closing in on each other. Jacob Dukes close enough now to Tom Carter, who had a gap in the early phases of this race as Ardolino got alongside Jacob Dukes of almost a second. And they have all been reeled in. Every single one of those tenths down to absolutely nothing as Carter, Dukes and Ardolino go through compression and through the devil's elbow, nose to tail, down the hill towards paddock. Just every single time we come round, we've just got to look to the left and see where the last lap board is out, because we are racing here against the clock as we head down towards, but we're not quite sure how long's left in this final. Pretty much in the same boat as these drivers, because they're just going to keep racing and racing and racing. They can't count the laps because they are too busy trying to overtake each other. They just keep racing until that last lap board comes out, and then it's time as they start getting towards that business end of the race. I know there's a clock on the side of the track, but it is at 90 degrees to the drivers. It's pretty much for everybody else in the paddock to let them know what the timing is. So still no board out now. We are heading towards the end of the 12 minutes. I'm fairly sure in this one. They head up the hill towards Spoon, and Dukes dives down the inside of Tom Carter and through into the lead. There we are, 1 minute 40 is what we have left in this one, and Jacob Dukes is through on Tom Carter. Sam Ardolino still there in 3rd place, looking to take a podium in his first outing in the Junior Kart Championship here at GYG, on the back of Carter and Dukes. The top 3 split by hardly anything. This part of the track always opens them up a little bit as they head towards that final right-hander at paddock. Then there's that run up. See, once they're close enough, within a couple of tenths, that slipstream really pulls them along. Naylor in the background in 5th place, seems to be closing in on Finn Whiting. Keep an eye on that in the background, but now Dukes is going defensive down the hill. Carter is in 2nd, still trying with each corner, but now Jacob Dukes is going much more defensive on Tom Carter. Carter in the middle is going to have to try and find a way through because he's primed to attack now with Ardolino in 3rd place. Over the line. Could this be the penultimate lap with that 1 minute 40 seconds that was on the clock as they head up the hill? And it looks like Ardolino almost got down the inside there of Carter. Carter closed the door. Don't want to be battling too much, or they'll just hand this one to Jacob Dukes down the hill into the left-hander at Carousel. Back up the hill they go into this right-hander at the top that nobody, I don't think, yet has given a name to. And they head back down the hill. This left-hander, the hardest one for me on the track compression. You're almost doubling back on yourself, but you're so quick down this hill before dropping down the devil's elbow. Round the final corner they come. The last lap board potentially looks like it could have been out there on the inside. We'll see whether we get a checkered flag as they come round this time. Dukes though, up the hill they go. And let's see whether there's a move down the inside from Carter. Tight into the right-hander as they hook back on themselves and now head down the hill. Look over the shoulder from Jacob Dukes. Then a look to the right-hand side as he comes over the track to defend to the inside. Down the hill into the carousel. Ardolino right up on the back here. Dukes a cart width in. Was that going to force him wide? And Carter dives down the inside. And Tom Carter is through on Jacob Dukes. Dukes takes to the grass, cuts all the way through. Didn't see much wrong there for Tom Carter. He had every right to go to the inside. Dukes comes through to take the checkered flag first, with Carter in second place, Ardolino in third. That one will be decided in the steward's office rather than on the tarmac. I am sure of that one. Here we go then, the move down the inside from Tom Carter. Let's have a look. Dukes goes to the inside, which is naturally going to throw him then to the outside. Carter goes to the inside. He is alongside Jacob Dukes as they go into the corner. Dukes then gets forced wide and onto the grass, keeps his foot in. Through he comes and rejoins the circuit around about 10 kart lengths further down. So Dukes takes the checkered flag first, Carter second, Ardolino third. But as I say, that one will be sorted out off track, I am sure. Everybody coming in to the Parc Ferme area, they will have their front fairings checked and then go off for technical compliance.